Most people think getting rich is about finding one perfect investment, one stock, one crypto, one lucky break. But if you actually study how wealth is built in real life, especially in today's world, you realize something very different. It's not about one move, it's about understanding where the world is going and placing yourself slightly ahead of it. 2026 is not about hype anymore. The era of blindly chasing trends is fading. Now it's about positioning, smart positioning, quiet moves, boring decisions that compound aggressively over time. Let's start with the first major shift. Income is becoming more important than speculation. A few years ago, people were obsessed with buying assets that might go up. Now, the smartest investors are asking one question. Does this pay me consistently? Dividend stocks, cash flowing businesses, rental income, digital assets that generate yield, these are not exciting on the surface, but they create something powerful, stability. And stability gives you leverage. When you have consistent income, you don't panic. You don't sell at the wrong time. You stay in the game longer than everyone else. The second trend is ownership over labor. If you're only trading your time for money, you're playing a game with a ceiling. In 2026, people are building systems. YouTube channels, online businesses, digital products, automated stores. The barrier to entry is lower than ever, but the difference is execution. Everyone talks about passive income, but very few actually build it. The opportunity is not gone. It's just quieter now, less crowded with hype, and more rewarding for those who actually do the work. Then there's artificial intelligence. Not as a buzzword, but as a tool. The people making money are not the ones talking about AI. They're the ones using it to increase output. One person today can do what used to take 5 people. That means margins go up. That means businesses scale faster. That means individuals can compete at a level that was impossible before. Investing in AI-related companies is one thing, but becoming someone who leverages AI daily, that's a completely different level of return. Another major shift is global diversification. Smart investors are no longer tied to one country, one currency, or one market. They understand risk differently now. They spread assets across geographies, currencies, and industries. This is not about fear, it's about optionality. When you have options, you make better decisions. When you're stuck in one system, you're forced to react instead of plan. And here's something most people ignore. Cash is no longer trash, but it's also not king. It's a tool. In 2026, liquidity is power. Having cash available when opportunities appear is what separates average investors from great ones. Markets move fast, opportunities don't wait. If all your money is locked up, you miss the moment. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable. Most people don't lose money because they picked the wrong investment. They lose money because they can't control themselves. They panic, they chase, they compare, they follow noise. And that's where the second part of this idea comes in, something that sounds unrelated but is actually deeply connected. When you stop contacting a man, he will do these things. At first, he notices the silence. That constant attention he was used to, it's gone. The messages, the reassurance, the energy, you pulled it back. And suddenly there's space. And in that space, something interesting happens. He starts thinking. This is exactly how markets work. When you stop chasing an investment, when you stop obsessing over every price movement, when you stop reacting emotionally, the market comes to you. Opportunities become clearer, decisions become calmer. You're no longer desperate, you're selective. Back to the man. If he values you, he leans in, he reaches out, he tries to understand what changed. If he doesn't, he drifts away. And that tells you everything you need to know without you forcing anything. Investing works the same way. If an opportunity is truly strong, it will show consistent signals. It will prove itself over time. You don't need to chase it aggressively. You don't need to convince yourself it's good. The best investments don't require emotional attachment. They require patience. Now here's where people go wrong. They over-contact. In relationships, that looks like constant texting, seeking validation, forcing attention. In investing, that looks like over-trading, constantly checking charts, jumping in and out of positions. Both behaviors come from the same place, insecurity, and insecurity is expensive. Confident investors don't need to act all the time. They wait, they observe, they understand that not every moment requires action. Sometimes the best move is no move at all. In 2026, discipline is becoming the rarest skill, not intelligence. Not access to information, everyone has that, but discipline, the ability to sit still when everyone else is panicking or chasing, that's where wealth is quietly built. Another key trend is simplicity. Complex strategies are being replaced by simple, repeatable systems. Index investing, consistent contributions, long-term holding. These are not new ideas, but they're becoming more powerful as noise increases. When the world gets louder, simple strategies perform better because they remove emotion. People underestimate how powerful consistency is. Investing a fixed amount every month into solid assets doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't look impressive on social media. But over years, it creates something most people never achieve: real financial independence. And here's the truth, most won't tell you. Getting rich is often boring. It's not constant wins. It's not viral moments. It's small, disciplined actions repeated over a long period of time. It's saying no more than you say yes. It's ignoring opportunities that don't fit your strategy. It's being okay with missing out because missing out is part of the process. You don't need every opportunity, you need the right ones. And the right ones usually look boring at the beginning. Now think again about that silence. When you stop contacting someone, you're not playing games. You're creating clarity. You're stepping back to see what naturally moves toward you and what doesn't. In investing, stepping back does the same thing. It removes noise, it reveals patterns, it helps you see which assets are actually strong and which ones were just hype. 2026 is rewarding people who think long term. Not 5 days, not 5 weeks, 5 years, 10 years. That's where real compounding happens. That's where small decisions turn into massive outcomes. There's also a shift toward personal branding as an investment. Your skills, your audience, your reputation. These are assets now. People are monetizing knowledge, building communities, creating leverage through attention. This is not traditional investing, but it's one of the highest ROI opportunities available today. Because when you control attention, you control opportunity. And opportunity leads to income. And income, when managed correctly, turns into wealth. Everything connects. The biggest mistake you can make right now is thinking you're too late. That everything good has already happened. That the best opportunities are gone. They're not. They've just changed. The easy money phase is over. Now it's about smart money. It's about understanding trends, staying disciplined, and positioning yourself ahead of the average person who is still reacting instead of planning. And just like in relationships, the moment you stop chasing and start choosing, everything shifts.